Hey there, this is Spanky, the driving dude with all things driving. Yeah, we have a great program for you today. It's going to be a day of randomonium. In the studio today, I have my good friend Allison. Go ahead, say hi.
Hi.
Yes, we're sitting in these very squeaky chairs. Today's her last driving lesson with us. She just nailed her parallel parking. Tell me what your thoughts were on it.
It's actually not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I think actual parking's a lot harder. Yeah.
But the neat thing is that you could charge your friends $5 to teach them how to parallel park now, or you could bet them for 10, and you could mug all your friends of money now because you know how to do it. It's easier than you thought, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a great time having you in our program, Allison. I'm really gonna miss you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. What did you think of the program? Was it kind of worth your time?
I thought it was great. I thought compared to what everyone else was saying about their driving lessons, that this was definitely the way to go.
Were they ripping on our drivers at program?
Well,
Or
no,
others around
it's
the
just
area?
everyone seemed to have the same stereotypical old guy in a suit teaching them how to drive for
Wait,
one lesson at a time.
Isn't that me?
No way.
Oh, I don't wear a suit.
That's true.
I may be old, but I don't wear a suit. I'm actually wearing shorts, a t-shirt, and a bandana, I guess. Have you noticed your growth?
I definitely have. I was a nervous wreck my first time
You remember
I
that
drove.
first
I
lesson?
kept apologizing for everything I
Oh
did.
my gosh, that was funny. Excuse me, I have to admit, I was a little bit nervous that day, but you were gaining confidence, as the lesson progressed. And then when I came out last week for your second lesson, we went on the interstate. You drove over 60 miles,
Yeah.
right? That was awesome. And you've been practicing with your parents too,
Yeah.
right? That's
Almost every day.
It's great. And we've had, some, without getting distracted on the driving lessons, because, you don't want to be driving distracted. We have had some really good conversations, haven't we?
Yeah, it's good to have someone to talk to and not just have a focus on just driving.
Yeah,
Stuff like
it
that.
kind of keeps it from being boring, and for the silence to just be deafening practically. Also, though, the reason that I like to have a little bit of conversation is it keeps the teen's mind kind of in the game, because like a lot of teens, even adults do this, that if there's silence, you never know what they're thinking. They could be thinking about their social media, their drama with their boyfriend or girlfriend, what they're going to eat when they get home, how much homework they have. And adults might be thinking, oh, I'm so tired and I have to deal with this relative. And now they're zoning out and they're not thinking about the driving now. And then their defensive driving goes out the window. And that's why we have you comment on everything you're going to see, right? Like, what do you do at traffic lights?
You see the color of the light and the street that you're gonna go onto.
Exactly. And then what about after you complete a turn?
You check your mirrors.
Cool. Well, hey, really quick, since we were talking right when we got in the car, we were talking about boys and dating and the homecoming dance and stuff like that. But I wanted you to tell everybody the one or two qualities that you had mentioned to me that you would look for in a dude, in a guy. And then we'll move on from there. Do you remember the first thing that you said, first or second? Because I do.
Yeah, sense of humor, definitely.
Sense of humor. All of you dudes out there listening, ladies love a sense of humor. You could be butt ugly, not the most attractive guy in the world like me, but if you can make a girl laugh, that is going to score some mega points. Am I wrong, Allison?
No, you're definitely right.
Really? So, I definitely married up to Brenda the Babe. Definitely married up. But if I can make her laugh every day, I think I'm scoring some emotional points, making some emotional deposits in her bank account, I guess it is. You also said another quality that you would need in a guy when you get married one day.
I think relatability, definitely.
Yes, and expand on that a little bit.
Just being able to, I don't know, have someone to talk to about things that actually knows what you're talking about.
They could relate to you.
Yeah.
What are some things as a 16-year-old right now that you would hope a guy can relate to? Not that you're getting married at 16 or have a boyfriend. No. Oh, don't get me started on that because I have 3 daughters. But what would be something that he could relate to you, what you like to do in your life right now? Because I know what they are already.
Well, I just like to talk about video games and stuff like that. If I can't hold up a conversation about the latest game or something, it's overall just kind of boring to be around that kind of person. But I'm not saying they can't have a good personality, but sometimes they can get a little like droning on of the same like, how was your day? My day was good. Like that's not really a good stance to be at.
So your big thing in your life these days is gaming. And you also told me that your friends are hugely important to you.
They are.
Right?
Yeah.
Anything else? Any shows that you like or music you like to listen to?
Not really.
But, well, what about your parents? You told me some very nice, you complimented your parents hugely to me.
I did. I'm so lucky to have the parents that I have, and they're just amazing, and they accept me, all of me, and everything that I do, and I'm just so lucky to have them. I don't know who I would be today, or if I would even be here today without, like, them having them as supportive as they are.
It looks to me as if they've really invested in you, like their lives, their hearts, their energy, their love. You know, even in money-wise, look for driver's ed because they want you to learn to be a safe, defensive driver. And I've met your parents so a few times. So your dad and I could easily go hang out with your dad for a burger. I could totally tell. You know, because we just banter back and forth. It's great. And we all have a love for dogs, don't we?
Yeah. Love dogs.
Your dog is the third most scrumptious, wonderful doggy in the history of history.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Behind my two. Yes. What's your dog's name again?
Xander.
That's right, Xander. Mine are Trooper and Macy. Plus, you have a younger sister, right?
That's right.
So she might, how old is she?
She's 12.
Yeah, my daughter's going to be 12 in about 6 weeks. So they might even do driver's ed together in a few years.
Oh, that'd be neat.
That's scary. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I'm so glad you were in our program, Allison.
It's really been so much fun. I'm honored to be here.
Why don't you say goodbye to everybody if you want?
See ya. Come to Spanky's. It's good.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. See you later.
Bye.
All right, so guess what? We are here with my friend Hillary, who's finishing up her third driving lesson today. You nailed parallel parking. Tell me, how do you feel?
It was good. It was easier than I expected. I was expecting to run into the cone, but I didn't. So that was good.
You know, you're very teachable today. You nailed it all 3 times. Right, straight, left, 40 degrees, bada bing, bada bing. And you said you were younger than your friends? Most of them?
Mm-hmm.
And now you probably know how parallel park may be better than them. I don't know.
I hope so. I hope I can teach them something.
When do you think you're going to be going for your license test?
Probably right after my birthday. I'd planned April 22nd because it's kind of I think it's a Sunday.
So April 22nd, 2020. So that's about 6 months from now.
Mm-hmm.
So you have all this time to get better and put in those miles and put in those hours.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to crush it, I can totally tell.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's been great having you in our program. I'm really sad you're going to leave us. It's been fun having you here.
Aww.
You're a joy. You really are. Don't let that go to your head. So what are some things that we've gone over that you need to work on a little bit?
I feel like being in the intersection, I always get freaked out because I hesitate a lot, and that ends up not going my way. Probably staying in my lane, and not necessarily speed, not necessarily on the highway, but just on back roads sometimes.
Curves, back roads, hills. Highways, you're probably talking about the interstate, you mean? The freeway, gotcha. The intersection is a hugie. You got to know that. You know, on a green light, you have the right of way if you're going to turn right, but if you turn left, then you have to hold up and yield to all the people coming straight through the intersection. But we had a red light where it was no right turn on red, and then we got up there and we're sitting there, and what did it do? It turned...
I looked up and it was a green arrow.
Yeah, it was a green arrow. So it was weird because it went green, red arrow, green arrow, just kind of like that.
2 seconds.
In 2 seconds, something like that. And bam, we were able to do it. So, but that's cool. I'm really glad that you're in our program. Now, tell me, what do you have going on this weekend? Some good stuff starting tonight, within the hour, right?
Yeah, I have our homecoming game against... I don't know. I would have to check on that. But we had a pep rally today, homecoming game tonight. tomorrow is our homecoming dance. There's a party after that, and then the next day I have church, and then my friend's sweet 16 birthday party.
That is a huge 48 hours, because right now we're like 4:45 Central Time, and that's going to take you all the way up to Sunday night, and this is Friday. You're not going to have a whole lot of sleep there, girlie.
No,
But
probably
it's fun.
10 hours of sleep.
It's going to be fun, though. This
it's
is
gonna
like
be so
the time
fun.
of your life. So like we were discussing in the car, you have a dress all the way down to the ankles, just like my daughter, right?
No.
Negatory? Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's mid-thigh.
Oh, you're killing me. So, but yeah, my daughter required to wear dresses like Little House on the Prairie.
Well, you can find cute ones like that. That's not that bad.
Yeah, vintage 1860s downtown Franklin in one of those shops with the bonnet. Right? Maybe.
That's a look.
Okay, I'm kidding. I wouldn't torture my daughters like that. But anyways, Hillary, it was great having you in our program. I hope that you had fun in it.
It was a good time.
Was
yeah.
it? Cool, rock steady, dude. Ow! Anyways, thanks a lot. We'll be back. This is Spanky, the driving dude, with Hillary.
Hi.
Okay, I'm back. I just dropped Hillary off at her house. Great girl. She has a lot going for her. She drove over 125 miles with us for all 3 driving lessons, which is huge. I just hope that she keeps implementing everything that we went over. You know, SMOG, which means signal, mirror, over the shoulder, go. Yield means slow down, stop if necessary, and give the right of way. And I hope that her parents keep working with her. And for all of you mom and dads out there, you know, find a good quality driver's ed program that uses no simulators to replace real driving. If there's a simulator that's going to be in addition to the real 6 hours of driving you pay for in your package, or whatever your package is, just make sure the simulators aren't being used to replace real driving, because a number of driving schools will do that because they want to save on gas and save on payroll and save on payroll taxes. And so they won't let you know that your 6 hours of driving isn't all real behind the wheel driving. They'll do 4 hours behind the wheel and 2 hours on a simulator. And for the amount of money that you pay, your hard-earned money, you want real driving, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. They're not going to be driving on a simulator when they get their license. They're going to be driving a real car, you know. And you're going to want to make sure that you have the most responsible, safe, defensive driver team out there on the road. A lot of work to do with our teenagers, you know. Great teens. You've heard from a couple of them in this episode. Just really, just great. And I'm very honored that they've been in our program. And it's, you know, it's onward to more teens. And we're just going to, at Spanky's, keep finding these teenagers. You know, around the community, their parents write me on social media or email me, or they call in and they say, hey, I'd love to get my teen into your program. And then we meet them at the parent meetings, the parent-teen meetings, and then we get them in the class. And then I start finding out about their lives and what makes them tick. And it's really cool. And then you get them in the car and you start finding out more about their lives and what really makes them tick and what their temperament is and what they respond to, how they respond. And that way I can adapt how I teach driving to them. And it's really cool when you see it come to fruition, and you take them from, you know, hour 1 all the way up to hour 36, and then you say goodbye to them. And that's what happens at our program. Fortunately, a number of the teenagers, they like to stay in touch with me. And so from time to time, they'll invite me to any of their sporting events or theater or wrestling match or high school graduation 2 years later, which is really cool because some of them I haven't seen in a long time. And then you go and you show up to a dude's house and he's 4 inches taller and his voice is dropped, you know, and I'm like, dude, I don't even recognize you. He's like, oh, thanks, Spanky, I've grown up, you know. And it's really cool. Some of the teens, actually, I've stayed in touch with for over 10 years, and some of them are in their mid-20s, married with a kid or two, flourishing in their lives. And it's really neat to be a small part of their memory as a, you know, in their teenage years. And then they're going to have a driver's ed conversation with their future teens, and they're all going to have a story. And they're going to say, you know, when I was younger, son, I went to Spanky's Driving Academy, and that guy was a freak, you know, or whatever, you know. That guy really helped me. He was a good listener. And that's what I hope anyways. I hope that I've poured into these teenagers to where, down the road, when they think of me and they think of this program, that they have, good memories of us and our staff and me as well. And, with 2.4 million Americans being injured in car crashes every year, it's my prayer that these teenagers just really try to master the art of defensive driving and always looking out for those bozos, scanning left to right, checking that rearview mirror every 5 seconds, checking their speed every 5 seconds, and looking down the road. One teenager said about 10 to 15 seconds, maybe if you're going a little bit slower, but faster you go, increase the distance that you're looking down way down the road. If you're going 70, you might even want to be looking 20 to 30 seconds down the road, because you eat that distance up very quick the faster you go. And there's just a lot of work to be done in this area, a lot of lives to save before we lose them, and a lot of educating, not just of the teenagers, but I've found over the years, the parents, because the parents, if they even took driver's ed, that was a couple decades ago, and they get a lot of bad habits, lazy habits, and then they pass those on to their teen, and it just gets, moved forward another generation and another generation, so that when I come in, I can try and undo some of that stuff and give them some good, fresh, healthy habits on driving, and then kind of, in some cases, start the process over. And that's neat, because when we give the tips to the parents on how to teach their teen, because some of them have been driving 25 years, 30 years, but they don't know how to transfer that knowledge to their teen. So when I give them the tips at our parent-teen meetings, they can walk out of there and go, oh yeah, let's do that as well. So now they're adjusting, some of their driving, and then they're teaching the same things that I'm teaching their teen as well, so that we're all on board together. And I look at it as a three-legged stool. I may have mentioned this before, but Spanky is one leg, the teen is the other leg, and then the parents are the other leg, the third leg. And all three legs need to be of equal strength and the same length. And if you have a strong three-legged stool, that's a good base for the teenager to sit on as they move forward in their driving career. Does that sound cool? I think that's a good illustration. And parents, you just have to remember, it is about having no regrets when you hand those keys over to your teen. I mean, it's obvious. I've been through it already once with my older daughter, Isabella. You're still nervous handing over the keys, but at least there's this nervousness where it's just a healthy love that you have for your teenager, wanting them to be safe, versus this overwhelming anxiety, because in the back of your mind, that you didn't give your teen, minimum 1,200 miles of driving before they tested for their license, and minimum 50 hours of driving, with 10 of those being at night. And I think parents, if you have a healthy respect for the road, for the strangers out there who are going to be sharing the road, speed, all that stuff that your son or daughter is going to be involved in, if you have a healthy reverence, a respect for that, you'll probably sleep a little bit easier at night. Then you might have those parents who, it doesn't matter, you can give your teenager 2,000 miles in 100 hours. You're going to be, freaking out every time they walk out the door. You probably won't even sleep until they get home. I probably won't sleep until, my daughter's home, every night with the car anyways. But we have some good boundaries with our daughter. On the weekends, she's usually just kind of hanging out with us at this point anyways. So once she gets more freedom with the vehicle, and she gets into maybe her junior year or senior year, she might want to be going over to her girlfriend's house, until 10:30 at night or 11 or something, or spending the night and taking our truck over there overnight. So I don't know, it's new territory for me too. Here we are in autumn of 2019, and I still don't have it all figured out with my teen. And Isabella's had her license since, 7 months now, 8 months. So, I'm walking through this with you guys as well. My middle daughter, Daniela, she turned 15 2 days ago. She's going to be testing for her permit in the next week. And I'm going to sit down with her. I'm going to go over all of her notes from class, all of her quizzes. I'm going to go over the handbook with her again, meaning the driving manual. We're going to take the online practice permit test from our state over and over and over so I could break down the lingo for her. And that way, when we go over to the DMV, I'm hoping we're going to go over there one time. So that hour and a half or 2 or 3 hours that we have to sit there and wait in line, that it's going to pay off and she's going to pass her permit test on the very first try. Let's hope, because it stinks when you have to go back a second or a third time. And parents, that's all the more motivation to study with your teen. Break things down for them for your own sanity so you don't keep going back over to that DMV and wasting your time because you didn't help your teen out on the front end by studying with them. Sounds good? It sounds sane to me. Sounds like healthy thinking to me. Yeah. Wow. I was just ready to get off the air and all of a sudden my friend Kevin walks in. Hi, Kevin. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. So now you have your driver's license now.
Yep.
I want to ask you, take me down this little story of the day you got your driver's license. Who did you go with to the DMV?
My dad.
Okay. What was that like that morning when you went with him?
Ooh, not a good day.
Why? What happened?
I don't know. I was a bit nervous about the tests. And also, it was the last day of school. So it was finally, had my last exam. And that exam was also kind of a harder class for me. So
it was more in the afternoon then?
Yeah,
morning?
so I had the test in the afternoon after. It was a half day, so I had it in the afternoon after school finished.
Oh, I see. So your dad takes you down there. You had an appointment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so how long did you have to wait before you actually walked out to the car with the examiner?
It actually wasn't too bad for me. I think maybe 25 minutes.
Oh, you did have to wait that long?
Yeah,
Even though you
maybe
had an
20,
appointment?
25. They were running maybe a little bit behind the day,
Yeah,
but it wasn't
sounds
anything
like it.
too crazy.
That's good, because Isabella and I, we only waited like 7 or 8 minutes just because we were in the morning as well. So you get in your car, you tested in your dad's car or something like that. And how long would you say your test was?
My test, it was super short, maybe less than 10 minutes.
Is that
at
scary?
Most. It was just at most 10 minutes.
You know, it's scary that they're actually allowing teenagers on the road who could probably barely pass a driving test because it's so easy as well, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you pass your test with flying colors. Mm-hmm. They took a picture of you and they gave you a license and you were out and about doing your thing, right?
Yeah.
Do you like driving?
I don't know. I'm a naturally pretty stressed person, so I guess driving kind of, I don't know. I like it overall, though. It's a bit stressful for me, but I like it a lot because it allows me to kind of go places that I need to and all of that. It's pretty helpful.
Well, you drove over to my office today.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
did.
Cool.
Yeah.
How often do you drive? You every day, every other day, or something?
Well, I mean, in this last week, I drove almost every single day. Something that I had to go to work, something after school.
Do you drive to school?
Yeah, I drive to school as well.
Oh, okay.
So.
What's it like in that high school parking lot?
I don't know. I purposely go early because the traffic to there gets really bad.
That's what I heard at your school.
Yeah. On the street that I come into that I come to the school through, it gets really bad if you wait late. And also, so when I get there, there's not too many people and it's not too wild or anything trying to get a parking spot or anything like that.
That's good. That's great, man. So you are on your way, and are you driving a family car, or do they have a car that they kind of gave you, sort of as yours?
I have my sister's old hand-me-down car, and that car was for my sister.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's still in really good. It was.
Yeah, is it the one parked out there?
Yeah, it's the one parked out
What
there.
is it? What kind?
It's a Honda Fit.
Oh yeah,
2013.
the Fits. That's great. That's a solid car.
Yeah, no, it's a really good car.
Such a real solid car. Wow. But, I got to tell you, it's been great having you in our program this summer, this fall. We've had a good time, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then here shortly, you're going to Lily's birthday. Happy Sweet 16, Lily. You're awesome. It was great having you in our program, too. And Kevin, just really good luck to you in life. You better stay in touch with us, and come by sometime. Maybe the three of us will go get a burger one day or whatever. You guys, I don't know. We'll figure it out, Does that sound good?
The burger sounds good.
Okay, sounds great. Well, thanks again, brother. High five to you. And we will be back after these messages to close this out. And I really don't have any messages. It's just what I say. But I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good.
All right, sounds good. We'll be back. Okay, I am back, and it was great having Kevin in our program. That was a great interview. Such a cool guy. With that said, I am Spanky the Driving Dude with all things driving. Have a great day. Rock on and rock steady.